Dover Motor Speedway, the first state, is the home tonight of round number 6 of this All-American ARCA series as we get you ready to rock and roll for 200 laps and 200 miles this evening in Dover. This 1-mile concrete canyon is full of action, and tonight going to be full of cars, basically. Looks like 36 plus cars on track to see who can tame the monster tonight here in Dover, Delaware, as we take a look on our map, of course, of where we are this evening. I mentioned Dover Motor Speedway, a track that has been built back in the 1960s, was originally an asphalt track, and as you see, it is full of concrete and a horse track and a gambling hotel casino thing right there. It's got a monster sitting outside turn 4. It's known as the Monster Mile. 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 9 degrees of banking on the straightaways. You almost dive in, if you will, into a corner and drop down, and then you come back up out of the corners. It's got so much interesting features and fun, and it is called the Monster Mile because of how fast it goes around this speedway. Looking forward to the fun coming up here in this Delaware 200. It's round number 6 of the All-American ARCA series, as we appreciate everybody who has stopped on in tonight, ready to go, rocking and rolling on the track. As it's 79 degrees, 68% humidity, cloudy skies, 12 miles an hour wind, and please ignore the third part of the screen there. This is actually race 6 at Dover. Of course, there's always one little screen I miss. I'm going to fire the producer, like I said. I said that last night at Michigan in the broadcast there. And, yep, that guy's getting a pay cut, definitely. But, yep, 200 laps, 200 miles tonight, 3 additional sets of tires, 85% fuel. Should be a pretty fun race when everything is said and done this evening. Let's take a look at the point standings. The top 10 as we enter race number 6 after the win. The surprising, oh, by the way, win that was in the... Of course, it's going to slip my mind as I say this. That's the great thing about Sim Racer Hub, is I can peek real quickly. I literally had it written down of who won this race last night. It's been a long Friday. Forgive me. Bartles, after he won last night's race at Dover. Of course, Ross Tucker on the pole. We'll see if they can go out there and do it again this evening. Now, I'm looking over at the lineup. Is Bartles even in this race? I do not see Bartles here. So, it looks like Bartles got his one win and he out. Oh, never mind, he's there. There's the 95. Yep, Kyle Bartles. He's in the race this evening. So, I stand corrected as I was looking over at the grid of cars as warm-up's about 30 seconds away or so from ending. And this is a chance for us. He doesn't even know he's done it. He volunteered for it earlier today, and it's been one of those kind of days. So, I was just like, all right, yep, he's going to be it. And we're going to bring him up here to us right now. And he is going to be the in-race reporter. Surprise, Alex, you are the in-race reporter. I saw you volunteer earlier. And to the point where I'm just like, you know what, put him up here with us. So how's that 30 car doing?
It's feeling pretty good. My best qualifying run in a long time, so I'm pretty happy about that.
So, what made you want to be an in-race reporter tonight?
I just find it to
Nick,
be
I need
fun.
some
I
Doritos.
like to just have conversations with you, and
With
I
me?
know my parents are watching, so
Ah, so your
they
parents are watching. So,
they
is
are.
there any secrets that your parents don't know about down in the living room area where they're watching right now, or wherever they're watching, that you want to tell them that's in your room right now?
I don't think any secrets because I can probably hear everything that's going on.
Okay, just checking. Just saying, you never know what's going on. Now your parents are gonna be
Yeah, I
wondering
get it.
what's going on up there. Hey, got them thinking about it. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Penn, by the way. All right, well, best of luck here. We'll have some fun talking to you here this evening at Dover. What do you expect?
Um, a lot of cautions. I'm hoping we can keep it somewhat clean, but if I'm
Nobody's
gonna
got
be real,
faith.
there's gonna be a lot of cautions.
Why does nobody have faith?
Probably because of season 2. It did not go great.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, best of luck, Alex.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Alex Penn, our in-race reporter this evening. I'll come up with some questions. If you have any questions you want to ask in chat, feel free to launch them at me. And what channel will I put you in? It's like 6 of them.
Uh,
Porsche?
Porsche Pensport, please.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup here. They should get 2 laps, I believe. I can't remember. But we're going to fly through the lineup here real quickly. James Silver is on the pole. He'll start alongside David Tooker, Jared Ziegler, and Zach Rogers there, row 2. Lane Doyle, Ron White, row 3. Alex Penn and Matthew Weeks, the points leader. They'll take row number 4. Austin Bloom and Robert Hill Jr., row number 5. Row 6, Casey Carrington and Trey Holmes. Casey looking to go more than 1 lap without destroying his car tonight. Row number 6 is where you'll see, hit the right button, Scala, Wyatt Nadel and Darren Staff, Marshall Newman and Jonathan Cutlip in the 16th position. Alex Carr, Justin Vandermerel in row number 9. Row 10, Justin Ray and Mark Dillon Jr. is filling in for Stephen Thompson. They're in the 20th position. I'm watching the pace car just in case it hangs to the left here. It does not. All right, Gus Moody and Gareth McAllister, row number 11. Kyle Hall, William Martin will be in row number 12. Row 13, that is where you'll see Larry Knoll and Sean Foles. Garrett Hess and Jacob Feskinen, row number 14. Row 15, there is last week's winner, Kyle Bartles and Josh Dillon. Of course, Kyle winning on field. I'm not sure if we're going to need that here tonight when it's all said and done. Robert Colgan, Cody McCorkle, row 16. Greg Carr, Nick Terrell there in row 17. Row 18 is Zach Nurnberger and Craig Martin. And that rounds out the field of 36 cars that are about to take on the monster. We'll talk about pit road. That entrance is not easy. We'll be keeping an eye on that here this evening. You see the banking of this self-cleaning track. 9 degrees down the straightaways, 24 degrees into the corners. If you spin, likely chances are 1, you're not spinning alone, and 2, you're going to hit somebody and something. As they go underneath the Ally Bridge, there's the casino/hotel, Dover Downs as it's called. The grandstands of turn 3 and 4. As the pace car hangs a left, and we'll go 200 laps tonight and 200 miles. It's race number 6 of this All-American ARCA series here on the Captain Esports Network. Green flag comes out now. Tooker gonna carry the outside line off turn 2 and take the lead. Let's hope everybody can survive off the corner. So far, so good. And of course, our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook, in the iRacing forums, and more. Their main website, though, is TrackCams22.com. Rogers up to second already as Silvers falls back to third. Everybody working their way single file, maybe trying to pace themselves just a little bit here. And caution is out first time. It is Cody McCorkle. The good news is Cody made it more than the front straightaway without spinning, unlike last night. But the bad news is lap number 3, he spins out. And caution is out for the first time in the crew chief's corner number 2. And let's see what happens to him real quick. Got last week's winner right there in front of him. Bartles. All good so far. All good so far. And oh, Nurnberger gives him the old yeet job in the turn 1. Watch this again. That was that wreck's already happened here. Watch out of turn 4 here. Nurnberger's running the top side here, kind of diamonding the corner, making it a longer straightaway, which carries the speed off. Down the back straightaway, 2 gives him some room. And then, bam, just gets ran over. And you're going to have some pit stops here. A couple cars maybe topping off the fuel cell here. Robert Hill Jr., Garrett Hess, Nurnberger, Colgan, Bartles. All these guys coming in for tires and fuel, or at least fuel, I should say, right now. Too early for tires, as they only get the 3 sets here for the race. Trying to play optimistic here and say this is going to be the only caution for a little bit. We're going to go green here and have some great racing. Hopefully you had a great Friday night, or Friday afternoon, Friday. I'm going to be honest, mine was not the best, but good news is I get to sit here and do what I like to do with viewers and friends and stuff like that, so appreciate everybody watching. There you see the 31. I'm assuming he is going to get the EOL and be sent to the back. One to go this time. Everybody's stacking up. AC Tooker is taking the outside. Zach Rogers, apparently that advertised here, is going to sponsor him again tonight. A lot of the paint schemes, if not all of them, are pretty much the same as last night. You got the Jack car, of course, of Silvers. The Reese's Cookies. Number 57 is Ziegler. There's Alex Penn there in that 30 car, top side. And Lane Doyle's got a picture of somebody on his hood. I have to see who that is. As we come back to the green flag at lap number 7 of 200 in this Delaware 200. And good restart there for the 83. They do restart from the Geico restart zone in this series. Somebody already getting the outside wall. There was that Penn. It sure was. Would you not be like a little intimidated to see somebody's face or something on the hood of a car? Or maybe not the intimidated, but maybe like weirded out by it or something? Feskinen on pit road, unscheduled pit stop there. Maybe a penalty or something involved. Carrington there in the 2006 Dodge Dealers Dodge. Of course, we were just chatting about the Dover race that if you were somebody who cheered on Casey Kane, one that you will never forget. And that was the 2003 race. He was on his way to a victory after a pile-up on the back straightaway with Michael Waltrip and Jeremy Mayfield and others. Actually, 2004, I should say. And with 13 laps to go, I forget who, I know it was the 44 car. I just don't remember who was driving it at that time. Might have been Jerry Nadeau. But was leaking oil on the track. And, of course, the leader come back around the track into the pile, and there's Casey Kane just spinning out in the turn four's wall. As look at this, 47, Lane Doyle to the inside. He'll pass the 17. So Silver's back 5 positions already in the start of this thing. Got Austin Bloom already has got some markings on the Hershey's chocolate car. Now, one thing about this setup, it's going to feel really smooth for the early part of this run. And then after a while, it will get tight. And when it does get tight, you got to be very careful, and you have to preserve the right front tire when it's all said and done. As you hear, not really on the throttle or off the throttle much. You're just rolling and then right back to it. Back here, this is Kyle Hall in the 87 car, Marshall Newton in the Yingling number 76. There's the old DuPont 24, Mark Dillon Jr. Look out now with those flames, just saying. Then you got the Scott Riggs throwback there on the 184 of Gus Moody. And up here for fourth, I think this is Ziegler and Lane Doyle. Lane keeps this up. He's going to be putting a face on his car every race. Ziegler looks back, and you see this mug. Lane running one of the Porsches, I believe, that's in the field. There's a few of them. We'll talk about that point standings coming up here in just a little bit. Team points and manufacturer points. There's a whole ton of manufacturers in this race. One of the cool things I've enjoyed about this series is the feature of all the different manufacturers. So we talked a little bit about the one modification in the race tonight, which of course is Mark Dillon Jr. filling in for Stephen Thompson. But some other features we should mention here this evening is the debut of this driver right there in the Z-Line number 28 car. Say hello to Jonathan Cutlip, who is making his debut tonight. You picked a hell of a track to make your debut at. Also, Garrett Hess, apparently a famous iRacing forum guy, is in here tonight in the 00. Let's see, there's Garrett back there in the 26th position. Laps about to be in the books, as Tooker and Rogers have just literally driven away from everybody else. Alex Penn up to third. Lane Doyle, as I mentioned, up to fourth right now. Taking a look at the Rookie of the Year standings right now, according to the charts. One of these days I'll be able to get a graphic made of this or something, but Josh Dillon leads right now by 2 over Trey Holmes, Tyler Burden, Darren Staffen, Robert Colgan. Your top 5 right now in the Rookie of the Year battle. And then here is your manufactured points I talked a little bit about. You've got Dodge and Chevrolet tied at 22. Toyota's got 17. Ford is 13. Pontiac 12. Porsche with 6. BMW with 6. Lexus and Lamborghini get to score points. And no word when the Mazda Miata will show up. Or the DeLorean, or whatever other car you could think of. How about a Tesla? Nobody's got a Tesla yet, right? See the pass there on Matthew Weeks, Austin Bloom going by. No competition caution. They already had one, if so. Everybody's pretty much single file, kind of being patient, letting this race come to them. The only bad news about that, though, is when you have this kind of pace going on. Oh, some contact there. Look like Kyle Hall almost got the wall. That allows the 38 of Justin Ray maybe to make a move here to the inside. Very tough to pass here. And I say that because you got to be able to complete the pass off the corner. And if you can't slide up all the way, it kills your momentum. There's the Martin Truex Jr. throwback. Maybe you did see a Tesla at Michigan. And I think your car just hit the wall, Steven. Martin Truex Jr. drove that one car to a victory in 2007. His first career victory. It was actually a Monday race. How do I know that? Because pretty much every Monday race that has happened at Dover, except like this year and a couple other years, Martin Truex Jr. has gotten a win. There's your leader, David Tooker. And you see right up ahead there is the back of the field. I talked about it a little bit here as you get going. You know, there's so many cars. Oh, and right in front of the leader, somebody gets turned. Look out. Didn't see who that car was, but caution is out. I think it was it Feskinen in the 89? It might have been. The bomb pop might have went around here. That might have been a code brown for the leaders. And let's see the replay of what takes place here that brings this caution out. Oh, Larry Knoll turns Feskinen. Larry's like, I like the Choco Taco better. Watch this again. Nothing intentional there, knowing what I've heard about Larry. Larry's just out here having a good old time, so I'm pretty sure he did not mean to do that. Great job by the leaders to all avoid him. All right, so no leaders on pit road. However, Kyle Hall, Mark Dillon, a lot of cars maybe with some damage all on pit road here. At lap number 30. And don't worry, I do not have any plans of showing weird dinosaur parks and stuff like I did last night. Corey Darr apparently talked about Waffle House cars. Which, yes, you can chat with me, by the way. I do read chat, and I do like to answer questions. If there's a question you would like me to ask Alex Penn, who is our in-race reporter, you can do that. Just make sure, like, it makes logical sense. I'm not going to ask him, like, weird questions. Ah, your 25 car. There it is. Yeah, there's the house. The All-Star Special, if you will. All right, this gives me an opportunity. Let's hit the old, what in the world do we have here? I'm assuming this is lane on this car, right? Or is there just like inside joke here going on? I mean, at least you could have done is smiled. I got nothing. All right, we should get one to go this time by. As you see that pit road right there, very, very tricky pit road to get onto. One of the toughest, especially when you're going near 170 miles an hour down to turn 3, and you got to get down to a whopping 35 miles an hour. It makes it very tough at that angle. Of course, ask Matt Kenseth, who got in a fight with the pit wall one year. Actually, it was tires before the wall, but anyways. You pretty much have to slow down entering turn 3 if you want to get to pit road and not speed. So that is going to be something crucial, just hypothetically, if we get to do green flag pit stops tonight. You never know. Just saying. But we'll rack them back up side by side here and get the green flag lap number 32. As I look at pit stop numbers right now, it looks like first through 16th or so have not pitted. Robert Hill Jr. is your first car that has been on pit road. That was at lap 4. And then from 25th on back, those cars all pitted at this caution. So it doesn't look like many of them, if any, took tires, maybe some damage fixing and things like that. So you only have 3 sets to get you through. You want to get to at least, I would say, lap 75 as they enter the Geico restart zone and get the green flag. And a good start from Tooker. Everybody smooth through turn 2, it looks like, for the most part. Everybody trying to kind of get back into that rhythm. You see the first side-by-side battle with Ziegler and Bloom in the 48 car. And there's your point leader, Matthew Weeks, who some said might be the guy to beat tonight here at this track. But I really haven't seen that kind of a pace for Matthew. But that being said, I'm learning really quickly how much of a kind of hang out until the end of the race type of guy Matthew Weeks is. He'll literally just kind of sit back, and when the time comes, bada bing, he's up front waiting. Looks like McAllister maybe got the outside wall just a little bit. Got some Cheetos and some beer battling side by side as he gets loose there inside is Marshall Newton. And 3 wide down the turn number 3. That is not a good idea, but they sorted it out, and all of a sudden, Alex Penn, who was running third a minute ago, has fallen backwards. Well, let's ride on board Tater Salad here. Ron White, not the actual Ron White. I mean, look how they just rise right up out of this corner. Zoop. And dive in. So the curious thing I wonder now, they always show this on TV. I wonder if it's the case here. Let's watch his head. I wanted to see if his head drops down like you usually see in the actual car. Nope, head stayed the same level. Yeah, I see the brake knob still does the same thing, by the way. It does rotate in the corner. Watch as we go into turn 3 and 4 here, or turn 1. Yep, it's going to go, and go inside the car. Down the back straight and wait for it. It'll come back out in 3 and 4 here. Here it comes. The little things about a car you can find sometimes. There's the FilterDime.com number 27 car. That's Ron White, as I mentioned. Austin Bloom. And then right behind them, the rookie, couple rookies actually here. Jonathan Cutlip also in the battle with Alex Penn, who is free falling through the field here. Not sure what's going on with the 30. Might have to ask his parents because I'm sure you can hear him yelling upstairs. Oh, look how, oh, hard in the wall goes Snaff. We'll have to see how bad he pancaked that Discord car. Don't see too much damage on it, which is a good thing. One thing I have noticed in this run, as I see McAllister about get sideways back there with Gus Moody, is the leaders haven't really gotten away this time around. Last time it was about a 4-second lead before lap like 5 of this run. And here we are right now, about 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second, second to third. And a battle for fourth is James Silver's under attack. Jared Seeger inside, bringing Weeks with him. You see a little bit of the line starting to form there in turn 1 and 2. Of course, you really don't get the feature on iRacing, but one of the cool things about the concrete here is that when we're under green, it lays down a whole tons of rubber. But then when you go under caution, it like picks it up like a vacuum. So weird. But unlike asphalt, concrete, the rubber pretty much lays on the track. It's not necessarily in the track. Carrington getting past Silver, who's starting to fall back a little bit now, too. So you wonder if some of these drivers are starting to feel a little bit of a tight feel. And, you know, in that case, you got to be careful of the right front tire. Got 35 cars on the lead lap. Jacob Feskinen, the only one a lap down. And unfortunately, he's 4 laps down right now in the 89 car. Let's check in on Zach Rogers back here. He has got a mirror full of Lane Doyle, that 47 car. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. Interesting as we watch Ron White now get to the inside. One car out of shape back here. That was the 38 car. Great save on his part of Justin Ray there. I saw him going sailing towards the infield there and was able to save it. I was starting to bring this up a little bit, though, is I go back to an episode of the Dale Jr. Download. It's a podcast I listen to all the time. Great podcast. One of many great ones. And, you know, one thing he brought up recently was talking about track surfaces. And he actually brought up something that is very curious to me. And for race fans that are watching, maybe you could comment on this a little bit. But he said he would like to see Bristol and Darlington, or not Darlington, Bristol and Dover paved back to asphalt instead of concrete. Because he feels like the asphalt would produce better racing. Now, the reason why tracks like this, maybe not this one necessarily as much as like a Martinsville, a Bristol, those kind of tracks are concrete or concreted corners, Martinsville in that case, is because the cars used to actually rip up the asphalt. Now, of course, technology has moved on so far that I don't know if that would necessarily happen in today's day and age, but back in the 19 heyday, the asphalt used to get ripped up by cars, hence why they're repaving, the little short track there, the one in Winston-Salem. Oh my gosh, just slipped my mind. the bull ring there. Anyways, they're repaving it for a second time in 2 years. Because apparently it didn't do a good job on it the first time. Bowman Gray, that's what I'm thinking of. All right, let's watch the different lines here. And let's go on board with Lane Doyle here. In this part of the race, Dover can have so many different lines depending on how your car is set up. You got the diamond, which it looks like some of these cars kind of letting it slide up a little bit. And letting it kind of flow off the corner. Of course, you could let the car really slide up the track and come off. North Wilkesboro is probably it's all asphalt. It's what it was before. I think that's what they're going to repave it when that time gets here. Yeah, the only tracks that are concrete are Dover. Up, caution is out. And James Silver's in trouble, it looks like. I see Garrett McAllister maybe in trouble, but Silver's actually came to pit road. Okay, we'll get you the replay here in a second, but caution is out. As the Aussie, unfortunately, has been bitten by the Dover track, and you see Silver's coming off of pit road, so he was just making a pit stop. And the one thing you do not want to happen at this track is to get caught on pit road. Let's see what happens to McAllister off of what looks to be turn 4 here. On the outside of the 95. He's okay right now. Oh, he gets ran over by the 58. Yikes. Another eater. And leaders on pit road. Let's jump ahead here. David Tooker, Zach Rogers. Everybody is, actually a few cars stay out. Robert Hill stays out. William Martin staying out. Sean Foltz staying out. "35-mile-an-hour speed limit, one of the hardest pit roads to handle because of that speed. I mean, you're going so fast on this track, and you got to slow it down to like school zone speed limits. And one of the more overrated and overlooked parts of pit road is right there at the exit. And I'll show you here in a second why. It looks like everybody's okay right now as we see the race off pit road. But one of the things, you don't get this much at a track on iRacing, but here you do at Dover. And here's what I'm talking about. Okay, so the white line where you see Larry Knoll's car at right now, the 29, that white line is actually the marking to leave pit road. However, the speed limit is right here with the green cone. So if you're not careful, you think you're okay leaving pit road right here at this first line, and all of a sudden you go over 35 to this next line, that's a speeding penalty, and you're going to the back. It looks like 4 tires for everybody, from what I'm seeing here. Yeah, Tooker, 4 tires. I don't see anybody with 2 tires at all. Everybody with 10-plus second pit stops. So, all right, we're going to have a little fun here. Let's bring our in-race reporter in. Of course, Alex Penn, after just a quarter of the race distance right now. Alex running, let's see where we got him now. He was falling back. I've got him all the way down in 17th right now. Okay, we're going to have a little fun with him here for a second. Alex, you got a copy?
Hello.
All right, so what happened there in that last part of the run? Because you went backwards.
Well, I knew exactly what I was doing on the first run. I was burning up my my tire. I knew exactly what was going to happen when a caution came out.
So the question is, do you talk to your parents with that mouth that we probably heard up there?
Sometimes.
That's funny. At least he was honest. I can't give him that. So, talk about the track. How's it been so far the first 50 laps? You've had a couple of like 20-plus lap runs. So, I mean, I'm sure you're starting to get a feel of what this car's doing.
It's feeling pretty good on new tires, but once they start to go, it gets gets pretty tough, as you saw from me.
Yes, you can burn up that right front very easily. So, all right, Alex, we'll let you go. Restarting 17th, my man.
All right, thank you.
You too. Alex Penn, the in-race reporter. I give him credit. At least he admits he talks to his parents like that sometimes. I don't even know what he was saying. Obviously, I can't hear what they're saying. I mean, he's in his own room. I know what I'd be saying over here. All right, so Sean Foltz stays out, and he will lead this race to green. That's him in the blue, white, and red iRacing car. And then the 4 tires right above him. I said this, what was it, Monday night in a Sim 500 League race. I'm going to say it again here. When you spin the tires on iRacing, you go to the right. Now, when I said that Monday night, the guy went to the right and spun his tires and wrecked. Let's hope this doesn't happen this time with Foltz. Give me a second here, Corey. I'll get you your biggest movers as of right now. As Foltz leads him to the green. He went to the right, but he actually kept it under control, so. And he did call out that he was going to let the leaders go to the bottom side, so that's exactly what he does there. Oh, took her loose! Hold on, young man! As Zach Rogers goes to the lead. Now, let's see if Foltz can hold on here. Oh, we got a car in the wall back there. That is the 76 of Marshall Newton. Going to keep it up there, pancaked. We got a broken beer bottle on the track. No caution as he kept it straight. So good job by Newton. Unfortunately, though, he's going to go all the way backwards. Now, biggest mover in the race, you said, or you asked Corey, right now, it is actually Sean Foltz up 20 positions. He's up to the 6th position after starting 26, but unfortunately that number is going to shrink pretty quickly here as he gets past. 28 getting a little loose off, too. You know, a couple things I was starting to talk about before that caution came out, these drivers could do to make their car not as tight in the later part of a run. One thing they can do actually is put some brake back to the rear of the car and almost trail brake the car. By doing that, it actually puts more heat back into the rear tires and causes more of a neutral. It's very hard to do, but they could try that, and it takes some of the brake pressure off the front end, keeps the heat out. The other thing they can do is actually a trick. I don't usually share tricks that I know on iRacing, but I'm going to share it here. Believe it or not, there is what we have found. If you look really closely at the bottom of the track, there's a little, about 1 to 2, maybe 3-inch space of white underneath the track, obviously, where you see all the tire wear and stuff. I've learned through some people that you actually could potentially, if you run the line right, get some extra grip out of that area right there. Now, it's never worked for me because I've never ran well here too well, I should say. Austin Bloom had a nice save a second ago. Most gets contacted there by the 59. That was close. Justin Ray's going to go by. Here comes Vander Morel in the fictional Kyle Busch car. There goes my camera. Thanks, Austin. And trouble back straightaway. It looks like Gus Moody has gone around the Valvoline car. And 4th caution is out. As we hit our peak of 22 viewers. That's awesome. Appreciate everybody watching tonight. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, please. But let's see what happens here to the Scott Riggs throwback. And something tells me he might have a little help. Oh, no, he gets loose on his own. Oh, and then a little net code to help him out. Hold the brakes, hold the brakes. There you go. Of course, you can't see it at the bottom there. Caution is out. And looks like a couple of people coming to pit road. Foltz, one of them. watch it in slow-mo here, but it looks like coming off the corner here, the 10's going to get or the 184. There's the Scott Riggs reference, number 10. But the 184 is going to get a little free here off corner. And he just actually said over the microphone that he felt he was in yaw, but then the right rear got hit by the wall a little bit. But I mean, I see that, but it almost was me. Let's look at this from a different angle. I'm not blaming him or anything for it, but it almost looks like that there was maybe some slight net code here that helps finish the move off. Let's see. There he goes in the yaw. You can see the wheel going right, trying to save, trying to save, trying to save. There he gets it saved. Little D-I don't. Nope, yeah, he was out of control. That thing, that's a hospital hop right there, if you will. He tried to fight it, just got behind, unfortunately. Great job, everybody, to miss him. So Tooker has led the most laps so far tonight, but Zach Rogers leading this race. Of course, Ziegler, and then there's Weeks right back there to the 4th position. So he is slowly, to quote the great Len Dawson, former Kansas City football coach, matriculating the passes up the track, or in this case, the ball down the field. Oh, here's a good one. Who's going to be the first to put an El Camino out here? I mean, I know you can't do the whole car truck thing, but come on. Put an El Camino out here. Let's see, what other? A Pontiac Fiero. I know we got Grand Prix, but why not the Fiero? You got the old famous Matador that Roger Penske won his first ever win with Mark Donohue at Riverside back in the 70s. Drove the Matador. All these different cars you can run in this series and just repaint them. I mean, look at this. We've got a Toyota Camry. We've got a Dodge Charger there. You've got the Porsche. You've got all these different cars. All right, coming back to the green here, Zach Rogers, David Tooker, Jared Ziegler, Matthew Weeks, Casey Carrington, your top 5 into the Geico restart zone. And I kind of showed this off last night. Let's do it again here tonight. Let's show off what if it looked like if you were in the grandstands from Dover. Run straight away. This would be a cool track, I think, to watch a race at. Oh, caution's back out. Back over turn 3 there. 5th caution. And Robert Colgan's involved, it looks like. 94 car. See what happens to this blue 94 car. Darren Staff right there with him. Ouch. 24 gets involved. Old James Silvers, the 17 gets in it too. So once again, it's just, it seems like a lot of the wrecks that we're seeing in this series, especially when you watch the rebroadcast at Michigan last night and this one, is people getting ran over from behind. And I don't know if that's a checking up thing or if it's an impatient on the gas type of... Larry Noel coming in there hot. It's I mean, he gets them in the gas and just turns them. But I mean, how many cautions is that now that, unfortunately, the car behind just runs over the car in front? I mean, I'm not blaming Darren for that. I'm just saying this is just the way it seems to go. Let's watch. Where's Larry at? Watch this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right, boys. Yeah. Nice job, Larry. All right, we're gonna have a little fun here for a second. We're gonna do something. I know usually we talk to people and that kind of thing, do an interview, but I'm actually gonna bring Casey Carrington up here. I'm gonna bring Casey Carrington up here to the booth with me real quickly. Casey, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Who real quickly said a minute ago? Now, obviously they didn't hear it in chat, but you guys were talking pizza for a second.
You asking about the pineapple?
Who put the pineapple on the pizza?
That's Robert.
That's Robert? All right, him and I got to have a talk. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Casey helping me out. Let's go get Robert.
Uh-oh, you're in big trouble, even bigger than me.
Is he even in here? He's not in the chat. That's the first problem. Never mind. I can't talk to him. Never mind. I can't even talk to him.
Well, that's probably for the best, given what he was saying about, the pizza and all that.
Who puts pineapple on their pizza?
I tried it one time, and it was very overrated. I don't mind pineapple, and I love pizza, but together, I don't particularly like them.
Fair enough. How's the car while we're talking?
We didn't get enough of a long run there for me to really see. I mean, I saved a lot, was fortunate and able to save a lot on that first run, so I'm just, now that I'm here with the fast guys, I don't want to push too hard and burn everything off, but I want to thank everybody tuning in. By the way, I keep forgetting to do that when I get interviewed mid-race, but the pizza man's here.
Oh, and Corey Dar, by the way, has got 6 puking faces as a, I guess that would be an emoji. Would that be plural? So that's emojis.
I think emoji is plural, but that's neither here nor
then
there.
What would that be singular then? Emoji?
I don't know.
That's like a syllabus at school. That's plural, and a syllabi is a piece of paper.
Or 1 degree, and I can't do
we got
linguistics
Robert.
right now. My brain's not working.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, we got Roberts in here now, so I'm going to interview him at the next caution. We're going to have a talk.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you can go up in the waiting room, Mr. Pineapple.
I'll go there.
Robert, you sure you don't have the wrong guy? I didn't touch anyone this week.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Robert Hill Jr.
No,
next time we get a
that's my
caution. We're going to talk
bad.
pineapple on
Number.
pizza.
Get it? Gotcha.
All right, I'll ask the question to the viewers watching. What else have you seen that, like,
All right, let's be smart
is
here, guys.
redonkulous
Seriously, let's get another run in.
eating-wise? I mean, like,
That was fun, the first 2 long runs we had.
example,
Have another
I'm
one.
not judging, ketchup on eggs, ketchup on macaroni and cheese, that type of thing. Or if you're in Canada, gravy on French fries, poutine, as they call it. Some weird stuff you've seen or do. No judging. My wife dips chicken nuggets in her Frosties from Wendy's. I'll throw that out there. Green flag out. Zach Rogers back up front. Outside line carrying the momentum. There's Weeks going to go to third. Cutlip, the rookie. Oh, we're really going to try to confuse me. A couple Z-line cars up front. Well, yeah, and that's just it was just an example. I know, like, I was trying to think of popular ones that, like, people do, but what's, like, the anomaly, I guess, if you will. So Rogers and Tooker have been the two dominant cars so far in
I
this
was just trying to
race.
block you. I didn't want to slide up in front of you with that run.
Tooker led for a little bit, and then Rogers,
We're pitting
when
in this lap.
there was a strategy, and did I just hear Zach Rogers coming to pit road? He is. Why is was there a restart violation maybe? That's one thing I do need to get back with Joseph with is getting connected so we can see the penalties. But Zach Rogers on pit road, unscheduled.
Thank you for keeping it down there.
And then you notice how he came to pit road. He turned off at turn 3. It had to hang a
It's
left.
not worth spinning up in front of the field.
Yankee fan who dipped her chicken finger. What? Well, the first problem in this subject is the first part of the sentence. Yankees fan. So look at Kyle Hall back here battling Robert. I like pineapple on my pizza hill. All right, here's one for you. I guess this would be kind of interesting. You mentioned Midwest staples, Steven. I'm a fan of taco pizza. Of course, if you go out to like Iowa and stuff like that, my buddy who's an Iowa graduate introduced me to taco pizza. And one thing he showed me when he made one time, and I started doing it, and I do it all the time I make one. I don't use like nacho chips or anything like that. I use Doritos. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's like the whole article I read this week about NyQuil on chicken. There's a FDA alert apparently out to parents of teenagers because their teenagers are putting NyQuil on their chicken as they cook it. Okay. There's a, I don't remember the restaurant exactly off the top of my head, but there was a restaurant in, what town? Ooh, who was that? Alex Penn just got the wall there off 2. Or off 4, sorry, on the front straightaway there. Me and, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, me and a buddy went to a Dolphins-Chiefs game in Kansas City. And we went to a restaurant somewhere in, I think it was actually in Kansas. Like out near, see Kyle Hall getting a little loose. Oh gosh, I can't remember the town name. If you go southwest of the city, I think it's like Dodge City or something city. I can't remember. But anyways, went somewhere, went to a restaurant, and they actually had taco pizza. It was really good, and apparently it's like the best taco pizza restaurant around. A donut burger, I've had that. I've had a donut burger. I've had a bacon, egg, and cheese donut sandwich when I was in Indiana. As Hill and Penn continue, or Hill and Penn battle it out here. Restaurant Lafayette. Give me a J burger. Oh, you're talking about Triple X. I actually have eaten at that restaurant when I lived up in Lafayette. You still actually, to this day, have to pay cash only at that restaurant. Good root beer, by the way, too. Up front here, you see Weeks trying to hold off Cutlip. You see Doyle up to the 3rd position there, still in that 47 car. I think I've never had a hot dog there. I always get the triple. I know there's like, and of course they got burgers and stuff there named after. Was that actually the peanut butter and jelly? Isn't that the Drew Brees, or is that something else? Oh, Hill and the Hall getting together. Look out, Robert. Hold
Not
on.
bad, Robert.
Yikes. Glove saving a
save.
beauty. Not Jimmy Johnson like,
Yeah,
but
I saw
very
that
good
from there.
save.
That was a big save. Yeah, that was a spicy save. Nice job, both.
That was not like Jimmy Johnson quality, but that was impressive. Still the greatest save I will ever watch in a race car. NASCAR history. Go look up, if you haven't already seen this video, go look up Jimmy Johnson Dover qualifying. That's all you need to go look up and
Sorry
watch.
about that.
You will not, how you double
Good
negative
racing
this?
push.
You will not watch it again. Put it like that. You will watch it forever. You'll be like, how in the hell did he pull this off? To my day, I will argue that is the greatest save of all time when it comes to racing.
My car is just getting tilted with marbles right now.
Look who's sneaking up here, boys. Kyle Bartles, the winner last week at Michigan, makes the pass on Kyle Hall. And Kyle up to, or Kyle and Kyle show here, 12th and 13th. Bartles started all the way back in the 23rd, or 29th position, I should say. Now, Steven, I got to ask you the question since you brought up Lafayette there. Dog and Suds. Should be about the time where they're going to close down here soon. Over there on 52, Sagamore Parkway. Josh Dillon there in the 12 underneath the 05. You wonder if Robert's right rear is probably screaming at him right now. Oh, easy. Back there, and there's McAllister getting the outside wall. You ever, in your hometown, has anybody ever... Did I ever eat Dog and Suds in Kokomo when I lived there? Yes, I did. Okay, yeah, I did. That's up on, remind me if I'm wrong, that's up on 31, correct? The old 31? Where Dog and Suds is in Kokomo? I think I've eaten there once. So Weeks going by Doyle for third, bringing the rookie with him of Cutlip. I remember when the bypass opened. I was living there when the bypass actually opened. So Carrington slides up a spot, so Lane Doyle back 4 spots there, all the way to 6 now, as Tooker leads by 1.9 seconds after what I assume was a penalty for Zach Rogers, who rides now in the 33rd position, 2 laps down. That is the hurting part of having to pit here at Dover. You fall not 1, but usually 2 laps down in this race. There's Trey Holmes in the Budweiser 88. There's nothing wrong with Sonic either, by the way. Sonic's good. They actually closed the one down here in Gainesville. Watching the battle right up there in front. Ron White is all over Lane Doyle. Here he goes to the inside. Lane falling back again. Oh, I knew that was going to get tight.
Going by low, Robert.
Lane Doyle makes the pass on Ron White. These guys are fighting. I like it. Good racing gears. We're 2 laps from halfway. I just can't figure out if we're halfway started or halfway finished.
Sorry, off, man. I'm trying to get by, man.
May I
You're
have
good.
found a loophole in this race?
Lap down, too.
We're almost 45 laps into this run. I stuck Robert Hill into the waiting room to wait for the next caution before we chat again. And yet, here we are. And I'm sorry, we're not 40 laps in this run. We're only 23. Let me stand corrected there. And yet, we've been green the whole time.
Second on the back, second on the back.
And right on cue, they wreck. Caution's out. There's the broadcaster's jinx right in front of you.
Car on the wall, 1 and 2.
McAllister and Foltz have gone around in turn 2. And caution out for the 6th time, right at halfway.
Ron, Lane said that was a great battle.
'58. Did you just go a lap down?
Let's watch this again. McAllister slides it in their top side there. You see the 59 almost get up
Yeah.
into the Gareth, or the, not Gareth, but
Fuck
the
it, man. God damn it.
31 of Nürnberger, and then off turn 2.
I thought I
We
totally
didn't
had
see
that
a good
to
view
be
of it
back.
there, but they come together.
Well, if we all pit and you stay out, you might get the way around.
Let's try one more again before we go talk to Robert about this pizza deal.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I will tell you a couple pizzas out in a second here. I'll share this one. Oh, right there. There's the contact. Okay, we're off turn 2. So, again, somebody running over somebody. All right, let's get him in here. All right, let's talk. Let's discuss this pizza deal here. What's up with the pineapple on the pizza?
Oh man, it's so good.
All right, you're from Canada, correct?
Yes, sir.
I would more understand you putting poutine on pizza than I would pineapple.
So there are
pizza.
pizza places that do that. You can get a poutine pizza,
Yeah, well, I don't
and
know what
it's
he's
weird.
I think we got some shenanigans on front stretch.
58,
What's
that
going
was
on
really
here?
the worst time for you to
Yeah,
do
it sounds
that,
like
or
they
to
wrecked
get
each
caught
other.
in that.
What in the world? I had just pulled a
Madness.
joke out and saying, hey, all I got to do is hide you in chat, and we could find a way to get the race to stay green, and the caution
Yeah,
comes
I
out
heard that.
immediately. Oh, Larry Knowles gone around. Poor Larry.
58, I'm
Oh,
so sorry. I
Larry.
know this lucky dog's yours.
So,
Man.
it's
sucks.
funny you bring up pizza. There's a restaurant. We're discussing Kokomo.
Yeah,
Steven and I have a history.
I
Like, I've lived
don't know
there
what the hell just
for a
happened
while. I
with the
think
car in
Steven
front
still
of
lives there or
me.
whatever. And
Yeah.
so basically, there's a pizza place there. It's over near the college that they actually have like weird, unique options. And I remember one of them was like a grilled cheese pizza.
That's weird.
And I remember always getting that now with no pepperoni on it. And it actually was pretty good.
I
And
mean,
then-
at the end of the day, it is just cheese, right? So
technically, but then like in New York when I lived in Rochester, I remember getting a buffalo chicken pizza, and of course up there they chop up the breaded chicken tenders and then throw pepperoni on there with buffalo sauce.
and was that good?
Oh, it was delicious. If I could, I mean, I could do it here myself, but I mean, come on.
True. Yeah, I was hearing you talking about the weird food combinations, and we actually have a restaurant up here. It's a chicken restaurant, and they did like a line of Nashville hot chicken typed items.
Oh, don't tell
So-
Casey that.
They have a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, which comes with a scoop of ice cream on the sandwich.
I'm thinking right now on that one.
Yeah, if you look it up, it's from Swiss Chalet, it's called, and it has a, like I said, Nashville hot chicken sandwich with a scoop of ice cream.
Okay, so like I've never had Nashville hot. So what is that? Like a
So it's
What
like
kind
a
of base is that?
breaded. It's like a breaded chicken with just like a hot sauce.
is that what it's
on
hot
it.
sauce? I'm trying to think of like, you know how like Carolina sauce is like a mustard base.
Yeah.
you know, that kind of. So I'm trying to think what would be Nashville. What kind of base would that be?
I don't know, like an
With
oil
ice-
and chili sort of deal.
No, I can see. I can't do that. No.
Yeah, with ice cream on it. It's weird.
Anyhow.
It's weird. I've not tried it, but it just sounds really
don't
weird.
blame you if you never do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, with the ice cream, it may tame down the heat, but
well, that could
I
be
don't know.
because of milk. I guess that makes sense.
yeah.
But why don't you
I don't
just
know.
put it in Nashville hot, throw some butter in there? Because usually butter knocks down the temp. But anyways. All right, I'll let you go back to your channel over there, wherever the hell you're hanging out, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir. Robert Hill Jr., a pineapple on pizza fan. Don't judge him, even though I
And
just did.
Ice cream on chick.
That's just ridiculous. Ice cream on what? I did notice Zach Nürnberger did lead a lap, and he's still leading right now. As we come back to the green, 97 laps to go. There will not be any ice cream on chicken at Dover. Though pulled pork on a hamburger is pretty good. Anyways, so we come to the green flag. We've just passed the halfway point, only 6 cautions. Nurnberger stayed out here. He's got the oldest tires. Watch out for wheel spin because he will go to the right if he does. Tucker, Weeks, Cutlip, Ziegler, Carrington, your top 5. Any Delaware 200, green flag back out. Not a bad restart. And hey, it's Dover. It's Friday night. We're having some fun, right? Let's turn it up, shall we? All right, caution is out to 58. Got the inside wall, it looks like, over in the front straightaway. William Martin. We'll come back and do a little bit more of that here in just a little bit. And somebody else has spun around over turn 1 there. Caution out for the 7th time. You can turn your speakers down now. I'm sure your neighbor does not want to hear me talking. Oh, McAllister getting turned also. It looks like staff involved. This wreck actually happens up ahead a little bit here. Let's watch it. Track goes to 45, a little diamond maybe. Oh, now you see the 58 get the wall, and then McAllister trying to miss the wreck, unfortunately gets into the 45. And as always, Dover happens and 58 gets into the 45. That's Dover right there in a nutshell, how it turns into a self-cleaning and everybody runs into everybody. Trick. Darren's taking his car behind the wall, and the Bloomin'... Does that say Bloomin' Mamba? What in the world is that? The 58's in the wall. Of course, they try to miss each other here. And as always, 58's minding his own business over here. These two wreck, and bottom, there's the 58. That's so Dover looking. All right, so unfortunately, 7th caution out. You see the 4 cargo shooting by there. And Zach Rogers getting the lucky dog. So, of course, Friday night racing here on the Captain Esports Network next week. Kind of get to go up to a track that I know decently well. I've actually never been to it, but lived about an hour north of it at one point. Watkins Glen International. The Finger Lakes 110 at the Glen. Watkins Glen, the one road course on the schedule. Coming up here next week, 8:35 Eastern Time. 45 laps of racing on the 2.54 mile, depending on what style of racing you like. If you're an old school road course racer, it's 11 turns. If you're a new school, it's 7 turns. But if you're from that area, we're talking food tonight. If you've never heard of a garbage plate, look it up. Rochester, New York, popular for the garbage plate. And when you think about a garbage plate and you're sitting there like, okay, what exactly is on this, like if you're picturing a concoction of food put together, you've pretty much figured out what it is already. Ooh. I might have to counter that a little bit, Steven. Let me throw a different hot take towards you there. I actually think the cup configuration is the third best configuration on that track. The best configuration I feel on that track is actually the boot with the old school road course on it. And what I mean by that is the without the boot, or without the dog leg, or the bus stop, whatever the heck it's called. But basically, you go all the way from the S's down the back straightaway to turn 6, which is the carousel, the pre-J.D. McDuffie wreck track, if you will. Unfortunately, 1991, J.D. McDuffie lost his life in the carousel. Unfortunately, I think he lost his brakes or something, but hit the wall, and of course, from that point on, there's been the bus stop. But you can actually race without the bus stop on iRacing. And I feel like I've argued anytime a series goes there, the race with like an IndyCar or something like that, I've argued that if you run without the bus stop, you almost create another passing opportunity going into the carousel, where the bus stop kind of, unless you make a mistake, eliminates that passing chance. If you get a run out of the S's, or you're able to draft down that straightaway, you're able to shoot out and almost make a draft pass going into the carousel. Am I wrong? That's my point for that. So, all right, coming to the green, 89 laps to go. And the second best, by the way, is the boot with the bus stop. And green flag back out. It does create so much carnage, which is not a bad thing. But just, I'm looking more at the racing and the passing side of it. How about the Z-Line cars up there in the front? Tooker, and then the debuting Jonathan Cutlip, who started 16th. Oh, give it time. You might be seeing cup racing on the boot in the future. If they can figure out the... what's the word I'm looking for here? If they can figure out the settings of how to make sure, like, all the track cars and stuff that are over on the boot sitting there during a cup race on the actual track, they can ever figure out where to put those cars out and that kind of thing, you might see a cup race on the boot. Robert Hill Jr. 05 car. Here's the 8 up there in front of him, or beside him, I should say. This is a battle for the 9th position here. Vander Morel, who holds it off right now. I just don't see... I know why he's running a Rowdy number 8 car. Obviously, he's probably a Kyle Busch fan, but also maybe predicting what the sponsor will be on that 8 car next season. I just don't see Rowdy being the sponsor on that car. I don't know why. Maybe if it's a budget, which I don't know the budget of Rowdy, but I just don't know. Like, I think of Monster and how much money that company's created in all the years they've been around. Rowdy's only been here for like less than 5 years, I think. I don't know if they technically have the money to go on a cup car full time. But again, I've been wrong plenty of times. Look at Robert Hill climb the top side around the 27 here. Makes the pass. Weeks doing a great job here in the 5th position. Consistent as always he's been. He's the only Two-time winner so far on the season. 4 winners in 5 races. Could be 5 out of 6 here before the end of tonight. By the way, big shout out to TrackCams22.com. The cameras you're seeing tonight, the official cameras of the... Oh, Robert, hold on again with another save on the back straightaway. The official cameras of the Captain Esports Network. You can check them out online on Facebook, the iRacing forums. And their website is TrackCams22.com. Feature road course cameras, oval cameras. They actually have some rally cross cameras, or not rally, but like the trucks and stadium trucks and stuff like that. So 28 cars right now in the lead lap. The first car a lap down, and I don't know if the field wants this guy back on the lead lap. But Zach Rogers, 1 lap down. He's the only car a lap down right now. So as soon as a yellow comes out, if he is not involved in it, he will be the lucky dog and back on the lead lap. And that 4 car showed some muscle early in this race. And though Dover is a very tough track to pass on, you can see Rogers working his way to the front there. Here comes that 9 car. The Nashville winner. Oh, by the way, concrete. Harrington trying to get around that 57 car of Ziegler. We'll keep an eye on that battle, but I want to jump back here. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. These guys are fighting pretty hard back here for position. Hill and Ron White continuing side-by-side battles. William Martin returning to the track, unfortunately 20 laps down in the 58 car as 3 wide around Larry. Thank God that was in the corner. And using the top side there to cross over. Great move by the 30. Bartles trying. Oh, big wreck! Here's that track blocker we talked about. Oh! In comes the Waffle House car. The 25 of... Great car, just compile it in there. And there's the track blocker. Casey and I talked about it. When would it happen off the air? And there's your answer, the track blocker. Caution's out. Boy, I looked over. I was going to go select a camera. And man, it happened just like that. The monster has bitten. No free waffles tomorrow. Oh, man. I'm sorry I'm laughing. There's something. Corey, I'm sorry, but we have to do this. Let's go on board the 25 car here. I'll let you guys reference this one. So I'm trying to see that Ron's going to get to the inside of Robert. Oh, Robert just gets too close to him. Look out! I don't know if I'd call it an oh dang moment. There's a term on iRacing we like to call that. And it has something to do with the name of the series. I'm just leaving it at that. Because I'm not going to criticize anybody. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to have fun with this. There's a term for that. Alright, so Alex and Gray Car coming to pit road. Craig Martin, Zach Rogers. As Rogers, I believe, unless he got damaged, I don't see any. Well, he's actually pitting here, so did he get the Lucky Dog Award? All right, so we're coming up on the 10 o'clock hour. And the reason why I bring this up is I've noticed a thing that has been happening. It happened last night during the rebroadcast. And it happened Wednesday night in the league race. Here in the next 30 minutes or so, or next 30 seconds to a minute, I'm actually going over to my Restream page right now to create another link to this race. You will notice if you're on YouTube, if we happen to lose the internet here, I'm going to jump back in and I will obviously move to the other stream if that I'm going to set up right now. Hopefully it doesn't happen. It's kind of weird because my wife's been staying at her parents' house this week because pet sitting and stuff, and she's had similar issues at different times with a whole different internet company. So I don't know what's going on with it, but there's a chance in the next 15 minutes my internet could go out. I don't, like, it sounds weird that I'm saying that because it's like, well, why don't you have good internet? I don't know necessarily if it's like anyone's fault. I don't know what it is. But just be aware. I'm just warning in advance. I will be setting up another event ready to rock and roll, so you'll see it on YouTube, and if it goes out, just click over to that, because that's where I'll come back on and finish the rest of this broadcast if it happens. Let's just, right now, you hear me knocking. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Tooker, going to lead them back to the green. Cutlip, Carrington, Ziegler, and Doyle, your top five, and we're going to try to turn it back up again, so crank those speakers. All right, caution back out. Caution back out. Oh, no. Matthew Weeks involved? The 11 car, the points leader. I don't see damage on his car. A little bit on the front end there. So the break glass, in case of loss of net, broadcast is set to launch just in case if needed. But again, it happened last night. It happened the night before, right around 10:15. So In about 10 minutes or so, we'll know, won't we? You see the 87 car getting the lucky dog. That's Kyle Hall. All right, so fans, let's talk a little bit here because Casey warned me on this. He said, hey, we might have a lot of cautions tonight. If so, feel free to. But I like to try to keep it on the racing topic. Let's talk about the new NASCAR schedule, shall we? I actually do a podcast on Sunday nights with another league I broadcast for, and you know, the me and Sam, the other guy that hosts the show, we actually talked a little bit about this. You know, what kind of changes we might see on the Cup schedule. So I'm going to ask you, what do you guys think of the changes on the schedule? There's not many, but there's a couple of big ones on there. Like, for instance, of course, North Wilkesboro hosting the All-Star race, which I kind of figured would happen. You've got Atlanta, both races now 400 miles. Otherwise, there really isn't many changes. I did notice, I think Richmond swapped around with a spot, I think, on in the playoffs. And, of course, the Chicago Street Circuit. You know, apparently I saw on Twitter yesterday some talks maybe that Denver might get a street circuit. Richmond, oh yeah, that's right. Richmond and Indy swapped. Yep, you're correct there. Which is interesting because when you think about the playoffs, with Indianapolis now being 3 weeks before, that puts it somewhere right around last week of August or so, which is right around Watkins Glen. So now we're putting two road courses right by each other, with Watkins Glen and Indianapolis, which is interesting. Richmond being late July now, that puts... Trying to think this one through here now in my head. Let's see, late July usually is right around the time that New Hampshire is on the schedule around that time. Of course, what will be the Chicago Street Circuit will be on at that point. I think Pocono's in there somewhere too, if I remember correctly. And of course, there's the talks about what are they going to do with Texas. Is that seriously the end of the regular season? I never even noticed that. So we're going road course, Daytona to end the regular season. So they're literally piling up on, they're almost throwing like 3 wild cards right back to back to back to start the playoffs. I don't know if I like that. As they say on DBC, I'm spot off on that one. I don't know if I like that. Because you could have chaos and you could do that kind of stuff at a regular track too, but mix it up. No, I don't think I like that. As Tucker leads him to the green here. How about the 10th place car back there? Newton, Marshall Newton. Remember he was pancaked in the wall a little bit ago? And here comes Casey Carrington into the wall hard. Ziegler. Well, he knocked the pieces out of that Reese's. Racing starting to pick up now. 60 laps to go. And here comes Mr. Rogers. Probably singing the Mr. Rogers song right now. Just instead of singing My Neighbor, he'd be saying, will you be my next position? Up, caution back out. Trouble on the track. 10th caution And it appears to be Kyle Hall in the 87. And the 10th caution. Actually, no, it wasn't Kyle Hall. I think it actually might be Sean Foltz and Nick Terrell. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Bam! Ooh. I can't tell if he got ran over there or not, though. Or if he just got loose. We'll come back to the replay. Leaders are on pit road here. Now, I'll say this, going back to the schedule. Daytona is the perfect spot to wrap up the regular season. I know it's a tradition to be on July 4th weekend, but that track is perfect for the regular season finale. I think Talladega should be one of the finales of the playoffs. I think Kansas should be the first race of the playoffs. I will argue that. Yeah, I think the Oval's coming back soon, too. Probably another year or two. I actually wouldn't mind them doing a double road course oval in 2 weeks type thing. I've argued for years, as you see, the 83 won the race off pit road, and we do got some cars that stayed out here. I've always thought that there should be a 2-week stint in Indy, and what they should do is put the Xfinity cars and trucks, let them go run over at Lucas Oil, or IRP, whatever you want to call it, and then the next week bring them over to the big track. And the reason why I say that is, and this is what it comes down to, is Mark Dillon looks like he, Moody, McCorkle, Martin, Garrett Hess, Kyle Hall all stay out right here with 58 laps to go. Here's the problem with the IRP. IRP only sits like 10,000 people, 10, 15,000 people. I was there at the last truck race and Xfinity race they ran there, of course, till this year. The track doesn't bring money in. It's a money thing. So, unfortunately, bringing in 50,000 people to the Speedway and seeing an empty track, believe it or not, still brings in more money than 10 to 15,000 people at a about 3/4 mile short track, 10 minutes west of there. That's the only reason why you see the big track instead of the small track. But I would say let the Cup cars do a doubleheader with IndyCar at Indy on the road course. Put the short track for the Xfinity and trucks. The following week, bring Xfinity over and even maybe the trucks over and run a triple header on the oval, on the rectangle, and run the oval. That's what I would do with that schedule. I would also look at talking. Now, it's probably never going to happen. I would talk with F1 and see if you could do a Circuit of the Americas doubleheader. Here's the issue you run into with that. As you see with the whole Colton Herta double or super license deal, F1 obviously has, and I guess they have the right to feel like this, but they feel like they're the biggest racing in all the world. NASCAR feels like they're the biggest racing in America. So when you have two egos, if you will, clashing of which one's going to be the first race in, you'll never get it to happen. The only way you'll get that to happen is if you do some kind of a rotating, hey, this season you guys go first and we'll go, and then the next season you guys go first and we go type of thing. But imagine with what F1 is doing with the young crowd, which they're doing an amazing job bringing a younger audience in there. If you could get the F1 squad to coexist with the NASCAR squad in one weekend, that would be huge for the sport. Mark Dillon Jr. filling in for Stephen Multi-Class Racing Thompson on an oval. Leads this race, Gus Moody, Cody McCorkle, Craig Martin, Garrett Hess, I should say. The top five with Kyle Kyle Hooks. That's somebody I work with. Kyle Hall, 6th. As we go green. Everybody on older tires up front here. Oh, Carrington going up the middle, 3 wide. Casey, this is Dover, not Talladega. I wonder if Craig Martin would... Oh, and around, big wreck, another truck blocker. This is taking a lot of cars. Bartle's involved. The 57 is Ziegler, the 1. Austin Bloom involved. Oh, a tough break for the winner last week. And the 11th caution. I mean, the moves that Casey was making up the middle. He and, I saw Tucker making some moves. I saw a couple of cars making moves there. Watch this again. Josh Dillon, unfortunately, involved. Oh, 76 gets loose of Newton. Out for the Outback car. And a lot of cars on pit road, including Mark Dillon Jr. coming to pit road here. All right, we got to do it again here, boys. Let's go on board the let's see if I can find him real quickly in my telemetry. Gareth McAllister, we're going on board with you, buddy. He was off the... I'll give him credit. He was on the brakes. That car just wasn't stopping. Well, 52 laps to go now. And Gus Moody, who was involved in a caution earlier, leads this race. Cody McCorkle, who was in a caution earlier this race, he's second. The debuting Garrett Hess in the 00 there, third. I'm going to be quiet here for just a second. I'm actually going to step away really quickly. I'm going to grab a water. Anybody want anything to drink, let me know. Be right back. All right. Live from the 24 car. You do that. Check this out. Here you go. Live from the 24 car. I do enjoy some Dover. I do enjoy some Dover. I'm with you on that one there. Feel free to introduce yourselves, by the way, guys, because, like, I know there's some people, like, I've never seen, obviously, the KPTV 75. Not sure who you are, but appreciate you watching, sir. That's Mark Dillon checking in. Okay. Is that the Pony Express Sim Racing? Corey just caught it. I've been talking about that for like 3 races, dude. That's actually the brake bias. For some reason, in the corners, it spins around. It's so weird. Oh, team president. Look out, boys. I got to behave now. All right, so restart coming. 50 laps to go. Gus Moody, Cody McCorkle, Garrett Hess. Those guys pit in lap 129. David Tooker, Lane Doyle, and the rest of these guys pretty much at lap 142. I see Kelly Poynor, I'm sorry. I like how you phonetically like kind of put that out there. Like point, like boy, nor, like nor, ner. What? Green flag back out. All right, who needs blinker fluid? Guys with the fresher tires trying to work their way up here through the field. By the way, if you're watching and you got friends who like to watch, send them over. I like new viewers. Hit the subscribe button. Hit notifications. You can come join us every time we're on the air. Multiple times a week, broadcasting all different types of series, from next-gen cars to trucks to ARCA cars to even an IndyCar series on Saturdays sometimes. I said it correctly the first time. Screwed it up after that. Oh, into the wall, McCorkle. McCorked the wall. And look who's sneakily... My English is bad. Look who's sneaking through the field. That's what I was trying to say. Here comes Zach, up to 9th now, the champ. And up here for the lead, Lane Doyle. He's going to clear for the lead. He's going to bring Tooker with him. Oh, into the wall hard. The 88 got it pretty good back there. Trey Holmes. On board with Rogers, 8th position. Underneath Kyle Hall for 7th. Highest I rating actually is the... I got this on paper actually, believe it or not. Is the Hess car. In a second, I'll get you the exact I rating. $33.62. Am I seeing that right? Oh no, there's higher than that. Never mind. I'm sorry. Let's see, Weeks getting past Rogers. Highest rating is 46.74. It's actually Matthew Weeks there. I will argue, though, that I rating is overrated. Don't shoot me. And I don't mean that in a mean way for like Weeks or somebody like that that's maybe earned that kind of rating. But how many times you've been in a race and something happens to you? And yes, I know it's part of racing, but I think that I rating should be done over like how you race, not necessarily how you finish in a race per se. Because I'm sure there's drivers that are sitting down there like in the 1,000 range or something in iRacing that'll blow my doors off, and I'm sitting at like 2,200 or something like that. And I'm sure there's people at 5,000 that you put them out there on the track with you, and they're like, dude, what have you done to get to 5,000? You know? So I feel like that should be more of a, like, how people race and how, like, passing and getting past and things like that. Because, unfortunately, any kind of contact or wrecking or any kind of thing like that in an official race and you get affected by it. I mean, I ran the Bristol night race last weekend, and I finished second and gained a whole bunch of I rating and stuff like that, and all I did was kind of hang out and ride towards the back a little bit most of the race. As you see, Moody get the wall, and that allows Cutlip to go by, and up here towards the front. Ooh, Tooker got a little loose there in that dirty air. Yeah, 3,000. I mean, yeah, I'd love to get up there night rating wise. And to the point, though, I'm hesitant to run any kind of a oval race right now. It's like, I mean, I ran that night race at Bristol, nice, but I've run some other races. I'm just like, man, what am I doing out here? You get around people that just overdrive and not respecting at all. That's not a bad strategy. Well, and again, that comes down to, I think, my opinion here. Again, I'm not a know-it-all, you know, and hopefully you don't feel that way. So, like, what I share is my view. Like, everybody should have realistic expectations of how you race or not race, depending on who you're out there with. If you're somebody that struggles or is still learning how to iRace, you shouldn't go into a race thinking, I'm going to win this thing. Go in there and set yourself a realistic goal and go out there and just try to attain that goal. You know, if it's starting with a top 15 finish or a top 10 finish. That kind of, like right now, I'll be real. I race in 2 leagues, one on Tuesday nights, one on Saturday nights. As for the lead, Tooker. Toyota and Porsche. Lane's not going to give it up topside. Unfortunately for, well, no, he didn't clear him yet. While we watch this, so, I have not had a top 10 finish in the 2 leagues. There's David. He takes the lead away from Doyle. 32 laps to go. I have not finished in the top 10 in my 2 league races since, I want to say early summer, if not May. I have, like, been terrible. Like, there was one wreck that happened in one of the leagues, and ever since that wreck, it has fallen off the map for me. So, like, I went into a road race at Road America this past week in one of the series, actually an ARCA car, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try to get a top 10. I finished 11th, which isn't terrible. I'm not a good road racer, but I kept the car clean. I made one mistake, but thankfully it's the ARCA car, and they're tough, and I was able to keep going. But that made me feel good, knowing I didn't get wrecked by anybody. I didn't have, like, terrible luck. I went out there and had a smooth race. And from there, now, tomorrow night when I go race again, I'm like, all right, let's go get maybe a top 10. Let's go get a good finish and feel like I actually have a shot to go do it now, instead of having to say a prayer that I don't speed on pit road or something to knock me down. Oh, Doyle rules. Yes, great movie. You know, Doyle, I feel like something bad's about to happen to you. Trey Holmes under attack. Here comes Alex Penn, our in-race reporter. For the 7th position, he takes that spot away. Otherwise, everybody pretty much spread out as Tooker out to 3/10 on Lane Doyle, who's got a second over our new 3rd place car. Looky here, boys. The points leader, Mr. Consistency. Doing the do. Feeling the flow. Definitely going to give the comeback of the race to Zach Rogers. Has come back from 2 laps down up to the 6th position. Great job on his part. How about Mr. Dillon back here, 10th position, filling in for the 24 car. No offense, Steven. The backup driver is not supposed to run better than you are. Just saying. Oh my gosh, I'm still learning about the race teams. There's plenty. There's at least, well, let me go into Discord here for a second. That's not Discord. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 teams on Discord. Now, I don't know how many of those actually show up each week. I was 4th. I was making sure you were paying attention. I don't remember where you finished, dude. I'm just calling you out. What leagues do I announce for? Okay, we got this one here, of course, All-American. On Saturdays, pretty much every other week, or it's an IndyCar series that is. They're off this week, and then they go to Watkins Glen, but they are more of a spread-out series. It's a series I actually helped kind of a little bit with, called Velocity Online Racing. And then Sunday and Monday nights, I do Sim 500, which Sundays are off right now, so we do a Cup Series on Monday. And then Wednesday, GLSR, Great Lakes Sim Racing, cover those guys. And then every once in a while, I'll fill in over on GSRC, which is the Global Sim Racing channel. Good group of guys over there. And help them with some races and stuff. But basically, those are the main ones. So Weeks is up to 3rd. You got Cutlip there behind him. And here comes Carrington. 5th position for him, about 3/10 back. Zach Rogers right behind him, 2/10 back. So I think we're going to pull out the blanket here in a second because these cars are starting to get under him. As well, look out for Larry. Lane Doyle about got into Larry Knoll, who's just doing his thing out there, just trying to be careful. That's something I enjoy doing. I think eventually, hopefully, my goal will be to be on a, an MRN or a PRN or something like that in the future. Be cool. Slowly, maybe starting to work my way, maybe especially next season, out to some tracks to maybe do some track announcing and stuff. I've done my share of broadcasting for about 10 years on actual radio and stuff like that, and now just kind of got out of that and been working on this. I thought they were about to go 3 wide back here off of 2, but they decided not to. Smart move. We got 20 laps to go here. Ever since Rogers got that pit road penalty, it's been the David Tooker show up front. And the battle for second is officially here. Matthew Weeks has caught the back of Lane Doyle. Lane, obviously a very good short run car. And anyone notice it's 10:30 now? What didn't happen tonight? Woohoo! I'm happy! Yay! Celebrate. Okay, I'll stop now. Yes and no. I mean, I have a guy that joins me on Monday nights, and it can be because sometimes you're sitting there calling the race, and if he jumps to another part of the race or something like that, I try to follow with him so we're not like zigzagging everywhere. And trying to communicate with him because I've got my own style of like calling a race or something like that. So yeah, it is different, especially when I do the GSRC stuff. That's really different because they have a producer, they have all this different stuff. As Lane gets out of shape going into 3. Not sure if he got rooted up out of the way there, but that was interesting. Have to check that out here on replay. But, when you have something like that, you actually, all I do is sit here and watch a screen and call the race, where I don't have to worry about. That's not what I was wanting to look at. It's kind of funny you mentioned the LSR guys. John Mustian is actually the guy. Oh, that's what happened. Lane got the wall going into the corner. Pulled him up the track. John Mustian actually is the guy that helps me on Mondays. He used to be with LSR. Now, the LSR guys I remember back in the day were, Evan Pasoko and, I forget the young lady's name who did the producing and stuff. Laura Lawson, maybe? What was her name? Super talented group of people at that time. Not saying that they're not now. I'm just, that's why I remember the original LSR TV. Back here for second. Cutlip is now trying to get around Weeks. Robert Hill on pit road, unscheduled pit stop for him, running 31st right now. Might be a little karma for the pineapple pizza joke earlier. Obviously, I don't hope that way because I'm a unbiased announcer. And look at Cutlip going to go to second. So what an impressive debut for this 28 car. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Weeks maybe has worn out that right front tire just a little bit now, causing him to be a little tight. Here comes Carrington inside, slides up a little bit, give him some room. Weeks going to fight him up there on that top side. Oh, contact! Weeks in the wall. That might hurt the streak of top fives and stuff. Gonna fall back to the 7th position. I'm pretty sure Carrington was like, yeah, my bad. Oh, I've got a face for radio too. Stephen Thompson with the names of the teams. Ten laps to go. David Tooker looking to become the 5th winner in 6 races this season. And looking for win number 5. Already 2nd place in all-time wins in the series. John Eckert is the all-time winner. Of course, he ran the first couple of seasons here, and so technically you could say that Tooker is the active leader in the series. Oh, that's what I'm all about. This isn't about me. Like, I'm not about me here. I had my time doing radio and stuff like that. So, like, yes, I'm trying to maybe potentially would like to work my way into doing sports racing broadcasting down the road somewhere, if it's at a professional company or at a racetrack or whatever. But like, I'm doing this more too at the same time to promote All-American ARCA series, to let the viewers be interested. I'm a one-man show. I'm literally sitting there doing everything. So I feel like part of the show is the viewers watching and chatting. If it's about this race, it's about actual racing. If it's about talking about weird food items, there's no room there. 2 cars into each other. It's the 48 of Bloom and the 59 come together. That could have been bad. And I've seen it before. Other like broadcasters, when I've raced or whatever, or I'm sitting there watching them after I've wrecked or something, it's like they never look over to see chat. And I'm like, so like your viewers don't feel involved at all. What's Pointer's motor supplies, by the way? Four miles to go for this 83. Cutlip about 1.9 seconds back. I look at lap times right now. Tooker pretty much the only car in the 24-second bracket right now. Carrington Rogers up to the 4th position. Great comeback for him. Uh-oh. Easy, David. Don't lose the internet now. Ah, okay. 2 to go. And pretty much that penalty to Zach Rogers mid-race has been the race changer. And for David Tooker, he's just kind of let the race come to him. And he'll see the white flag this time. Final lap of the Delaware 200. I have flashbacks of Kyle Busch and a Z-Line Toyota doing dominant things at Dover like this. And it's going to be his 5th career win and the 5th winner in 6 races as Tooker claims the monster. Cutlip finishes 2nd. Oh, by the way, we're like 3 minutes from the time limit. I didn't even mention that part. Rogers finishes 4th. I'm hearing the drivers literally say it sounds like that there was 30 seconds left in the session, which means they would have only gotten another lap in after this. How about that? Because there's the 2-hour time limit I've totally just thought about, I believe. So active leaderboard, 5th career win for the 83. He is the leading active driver in the series. Watch out for Kyle Hall. Man on the loose. No, and there's times that I see myself doing the same thing, watching iRacing more and things. But yet at the same time, I'm a big-time racing advocate. I watch every Cup race. I watch every IndyCar race. And if I had time, I'd watch every truck, Xfinity, Indy Lights. Yeah, I love the history of the sport. I do a lot of research on that kind of thing. If you listen to my broadcast, you'll hear me reference older things that happen at tracks. And that kind of thing. So, but no, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll talk to the top 3 at least drivers each tonight and go from there here in just a moment as Tooker continues to celebrate. Let's take a look at the well, eventually I'm going to go get the Flow TV thing because I like watching short track racing, but first I want to catch up on other stuff racing wise that I'm far behind on my DVR. Let's take a look at the final results of the race. And hearing there was some drama maybe after the race here. So let's we'll go look at this here in a second. Tooker wins the race 1.9 seconds over Cutlip. First career start, finishes 2nd. Not bad. Casey Carrington 3rd. Zach Rogers 4th. Lane Doyle finishes 5th. Matthew Weeks keeps his top 10 streak going, finishing 6th. Alex Penn, good comeback there, 7th. Justin Ray 8th. Trey Holmes 9th. Mark Dillon Jr. filling in for Mr. Thompson, finishes 10th. Garrett Hess in his debut 11th. Kyle Hall. Zach Nurnberger 13th. Craig Martin 14th. Cody McCorkle 15th, Greg Carr 16th, Gus Moody, Austin Bloom finishing in the 18th position. 19th goes to the Sean Foltz, I should say, car. Jacob Feskinen 20th, 21st Gareth McAllister, Josh Dillon 22nd, Larry Knoll 23rd, Nick Terrell 24th, Alex Carr 25th, Robert Colgan 26th, 27th William Martin, Jared Ziegler 28th, 29th goes to Marshall Newton. Kyle Bartles finishing 30th, 31st Robert Hill Jr., 32nd Wyatt Nadel. Ron White, Justin Vandermorel 34th, Darren Staff, and James Silvers, unfortunately 36th in last on the field. So let's go back to the last lap before we talk to the winner and others in the race, because apparently there was some argy-bargy. As soon as I find it. Give me a minute here as I'm looking over at the... All right, so we're going to come across here to the white flag. I'm going to hit stop, and let's go over to here. they've crossed the line. Oh, yikes. I assume we will not see any kind of bomb pop ice cream flavors on a waffle anytime soon. Oh, do we have retaliation? No. This makes me go back to the beginning of the race. Was there ever contact between the 89 and the 25? I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's go talk with... Start with our head admin slash owner slash third place finisher. And that being Casey Carrington in the number 9 car, finishing in the 3rd position tonight. Casey, congratulations on the 3rd place run. You're definitely showing what kind of car you got on the concrete. Another top 3 here.
Yeah, man, that was a weird race. I'm gonna have to go back and lay across the bed and reflect on that one. That was
That's a little too much info.
not in that way, Jesus. But no, I mean it just, yeah, I mean it seems like, I think I mentioned it to you before. I think after last race about how if I start outside the top 10 in this week, I'm gonna probably get a podium. If I qualify inside the top 10, I'm probably gonna have a bad night, and that trend continued again. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting one.
Talk about the racing. Obviously, we had the cautions as predicted, but we still had plenty of good green flag racing too.
Yeah, it had that kind of I don't even know. I've been tensing my arms up for 2 hours. I can't think straight, but it kind of had its ebbs and flows. We'd get the flurry of cautions, and we'd get the long green flag runs, and I know people probably sick of hearing me talk on the radio about racing clean and being smart and safe, but I mean, I just being the league owner, I kind of feel obligated to say that kind of stuff. And at the same time, though, as critical as I can be when we had the cautions, I definitely need to commend everybody for the clean run to the end. I mean, that was, I think, like, what, 60, 70 laps to finish it. So that's about 3 long runs that we had there tonight. That's, honestly, it may not have seemed like it. I don't know, from a spectator's perspective, but that race definitely went better than I anticipated looking at practice.
What happened between you and Mr. Weeks there?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I mean, obviously, I watched the replay a minute ago, and to me, it was kind of a 50-50. I mean, I might have came up a foot or so, but at the same time, like, you're diamonding the corner, I kind of was just running the normal line. I mean, I'm sure he feels like it was my fault, and I don't necessarily blame him, because like I said, it was kind of a 50-50. I look at it as it was kind of like I washed up a little bit, but he was also pinching me, because that's what you're gonna do. I mean, it's late in the race, and I don't blame him at all for trying to defend. And like I said, obviously he was on the cool down lap, he was a little upset with me. And like I said, I don't blame him. We had a run in last season that was completely my fault. I mean, that was completely my fault. I apologized to him like 4 or 5 times. So hopefully he doesn't think that that had anything to do with it, because I was just, like I said, running the line, trying to make it around him, and we got together.
Something about the 9 and 11 cars, huh?
Evidently.
Shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Shout out to everybody tuning in that tuned in tonight. Shout out to you for doing the broadcast, Joseph for doing race control, Kyle for being the kind of the co-admin, deputy admin, however you want to look at it. Shout out to everybody that came tonight. Wait, what was that?
What? The deputy admin?
Well, I mean, it's like I die on the league page, so what would you be? You got the chief executive officer, and then what's the second? The COO or whatever?
I did. That's above my pay grade.
Yeah, me too. But
I mean,
either way, we're co-owners.
There's another acronym with 4 letters. I'm leaving that one alone.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we had enough talk during that one caution about the pineapple pizza. But anyway,
yeah, right.
Like I said, shout out to everybody that came out tonight. Shout out to anybody who doesn't put pineapple on their pizza
or ice cream on their chicken.
I like ice cream. I like chicken. I don't like ice cream chicken or ice
Nashville
cream on
hot
chicken. No.
That's Robert.
There'll be a Nashville hot chicken ice cream flavor before long if there isn't already. I'm calling it. But speaking it into existence. But like I said, shout out to everybody. What are we off to Watkins going next week? So
Yes.
there'll definitely be less cautions. So
Garbage
that's going
plate.
to be, yeah, I'm going to have to be, probably taking the runoff a couple times just to dodge somebody that might be upset with me. But but no, like I said, thanks everybody, and thanks to you for doing the
Everybody
broadcast.
going
That
down
was
the everybody going down the
decent
short
fun
chute.
race.
Casey Carrington's in the boot.
Yeah. Just trying to keep that 0x.
Well, great job. No, man, all seriousness, didn't mean to cut you off there, but great job tonight, and great job, obviously, putting on the show here. A lot of viewers watching tonight, a lot of people enjoying the stream, so great job here from Dover, and we'll go fight a right-turning monster next week.
Yeah, we're gonna head north a little bit, and I'll see you in New York next week.
Sounds good. I'll show you around. Some nice area up there.
Yeah, there's probably some dinosaur parks or something. Or maybe dinosaurs in parks, if you know what I mean.
Well,
But
there
who
is
knows?
there's a falls up there. It's pretty nice. Letchworth State Park. That's pretty cool. There's a bunch of wineries, a couple lakes.
All right, save it for next week. You're gonna have plenty of dead air.
Actually, I'll be able to show you the story about how Watkins Glen originally had a racetrack in downtown.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Hey, Joe Petrick arrives at the last minute on stream. Anyways, good job, Casey.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Casey Carrington finishing in the 3rd position. Joe, you can tell he lives out in L.A. He shows up at the 9th inning of every game. Hi, Joe. Let's see. Jonathan Cutlip finishing in the 2nd position. For those who don't know, Joe Petrick, he's actually on Twitch. If you're not watching on YouTube, or if you're on YouTube, you're not going to see his chat. He just said hi over on Twitch. I can see all chat. As we have Jonathan Cutlip in his debut tonight, finishing in the 2nd position. Congratulations, Jonathan. I'm sure it does upset you a little bit that you're the 2nd best Z-Line car tonight.
Thank you. No, not really, to be honest.
Well, talk about the race a little bit, man. That was you started back in the 16th position, so you were kind of right out there in the fire, and just kind of just let the race come to you.
Yeah, I didn't really have a good qualifying effort. I kind of underdrove it a lot. So I was just trying to make up for that mistake, and was just trying to walk through the field from that point on.
Well, you did a great job, man. Talk about your experience. What kind of racing were you a part of out there, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. The racing was really clean from, my perspective. Had comers and goers. The track was a lot of fun. This car was a lot of fun. First about 20 laps, the car was pretty loose, and then it would tighten up.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job, and congratulations, and send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
Well, my mom's watching for the first time.
Hi, Mom.
She's never seen me league race before. My friends, they're super supportive. They're, happy to see me on here finally.
Absolutely. Well, no, we welcome them in. We appreciate it. It's good to see you out here, a part of this pretty cool league, and a pretty good start to your career here, and hopefully next week we'll see you on a road course.
Thank you. I'm probably not going to be here next week, but I'm definitely looking at Charlotte to race again.
Probably a good idea not to show up to the road course. I'm just kidding. Great job, though. Good to see you, man.
Yep, thank you.
All right, you too. Jonathan Cutlip finishing 2nd position. And you mentioned might be missing a road course race next week. But looks to be back potentially for Charlotte when we go there. All right, let's go to Victory Lane and celebrate with the active all-time leader, believe it or not, in wins for this series. That is David Tooker, 5th career win, 1st of the season. And David, great race for you, as it looked like for a while it was going to be you versus Zach, but then Zach made the whoopsies apparently and got penalized, and kind of let you kind of run off there, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah, no, definitely was not easy. I feel really bad for Zach because he started on the outside of that restart, and apparently he went early, even though he went in the box and was the leader. He had every right to take off where he did, and unfortunately iRacing didn't deem it that way, and the way the rules work is we call it by what iRacing tells you to do, and that's just the way it happened. But like you said, no, Zach was quick all night. I felt like me and him were pretty even on pace. I felt like I had a little bit more in the long run than he did. But I think it was just a matter of who got out front. This track's very, very hard to drive when you're behind somebody just in the dirty air, and this car naturally just gets tighter and tighter over the run, which I was struggling with on the late run, but just seemed to be a little less than the guys behind me. But I think it was just a matter of who got out front and when. for me and Zach. And then towards the end, Jonathan Cutlip and Matthew Weeks and even Casey Carrington were right there on pace coming up with the fresher tires. And to be honest, with the fresh tires that we had at the very end, I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to get lane. Me and him were very close. I got a couple opportunities to get underneath him, but he ran me clean. He ran me tight, which, I mean, hard racing, that's what I love. That's what I love to do. He gave me all the room that I needed to make the pass, and we ended up racing clean for it, and I was able to get by him and luckily go on to the win.
You mentioned the racing, obviously the long runs. We had a few of those. How are the tires affecting you out there? Because obviously the right front after a while would take a little bit of a beating, and obviously the car would turn tight.
Yeah, exactly, Chris. Just to start the run on cold tires, the car is going to be loose.
Mm-hmm.
Cold tires going through turn one, especially bottom line, was really loose on exit tonight, which I wasn't really expecting. Caught a few snaps of oversteer there, but once you got about, I'd say, 10, 15 laps into the run, the car and the tires really started to mesh together. And if you could find the perfect blend of carrying as much speed into the corner and off, which that's just all. That's all it is here, is just keeping momentum off the corner, not so much in, because it's kind of a one-lane racetrack. If you hold the guy on the bottom tight enough, you can make it two. But just, once we got late into the run, the car was getting tighter, like you said, burning right front off. Just driving as much as you can, trying to keep the lead and maintain the gap to the guys behind you. But the car swung tight about, I would say, 30 laps into the run, and then it really started really getting tight in the last 10, like 40 lap 50 of the run. But unfortunately we couldn't go much longer than that because we just kept getting cautions. But overall it was a good race.
Was there anything you could do to maybe adjust to that tight? Because like immediately I started thinking at the beginning of the race, I'm like, maybe they can push the brake bias back towards the rear a little bit, maybe develop some heat in the rear to counter the tightness.
There's plenty of things we can do. Like you said, brake bias is your biggest help, especially in this car. I didn't touch the brake bias. Just over the course of the run, I was just keeping a mental note of where I was lifting and also just trying to, as the run goes on, your car is going to get tighter and tighter, like I said. So you got to back up your corners a little bit more and be a little bit more patient on throttle, which, brake bias can help with that. I mean, you can go into the corner. If you lower it a little bit more, you can go to the corner a little bit deeper, but you're going to be burning a lot more tire doing that, getting the car stopped quicker. But me personally, I didn't touch any brake bias or anything. I just, showed up and drove it.
There you go. When you drove it right to victory lane tonight, you get yourself a monster. Well, at least visually, you can picture your 83 car in a monster's hand. So congratulations on that, and shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, just want to give a huge shout out to Mountain Man Motorsports, Robert Hill Jr., especially my team owner. We came into the season last year, 2 seasons ago. Had a couple chances at some wins. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get any. Then showed up last season with a full-time ride and clocked off, I'd say, 4 or 5 wins in the previous season. And then finally coming into this season, just haven't been able to put it in victory lane quite yet, and was really hoping to do it tonight. This is one of my favorite tracks, my favorite track and car combo. I love coming here. I love running this car. This is just, it's a driver's track.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's kind of separates everybody from the rest. And another shout out, I'm going to forget a bunch of names. Everybody at Mountain Man Motorsports, all my teammates, Matthew Weeks, Jonathan Cutlip, Zach Rogers. We had so many fast cars tonight. Trey Holmes, just so many good cars that I feel like we could have competed for the win, if not swept the podium, but just didn't work out that way for us. But luckily to grab a P1 and P2. But I also want to give a huge shout out to everybody at All American ARCA, all of our admin, Casey Carrington, the leader of this whole organization. He does such a good job with getting this league to run as well as it does, and I know we haven't really had quite the best few races with these cautions, but I hope that doesn't hinder our racing product, because we've had some great races in the past, and I'm looking forward to some more. All of our admin, and then also you, Chris, up in the booth for us. Really appreciate what you're doing. And also JD Designs. He painted my car this week, and we actually ran twin cars, and twin cars finished 1-2, so that's pretty awesome for him. Really happy to support him in his business. But like I said, everybody at All American ARCA, all my teammates, and also you as well.
There you go, man. Congratulations. And I don't want to burst anyone's bubble here, but your owner likes pineapple on pizza.
I'll have to talk to him about that one. I'm not sure about that.
I'm glad we're on the same page here. Great job, David.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You too, man. David Tooker, the winner tonight here at the Dover Motor Speedway, virtually on iRacing. Congratulations to him. And he'll be able to go celebrate with his team and go from there. Holy cow. Oh, I was going to say, holy cow, everybody left chat. But no, they're all down here in the Porsche Pensport chat, which, yes, there were plenty of Porsches in the race today. Now, let's hypothetically say really quickly, they're all Chevy bodies, but they get to do whatever they want to with the car. I'm going to bring Alex up here. He was our in-race reporter. Finished in the 7th position. And if I can use my dragging button the right way here, I'll bring Alex up here to join us now. Alex finished in the 7th position. Great comeback for you. And obviously being our in-race reporter, talk about the latter part of that race for you.
I got my stuff sorted and was able to save a bit of tire, especially towards the end. And that definitely worked out in my favor as I was able to get by a couple of people and then get towards the front.
The racing out there, obviously we had some cautions at times, and but for a 200 lap race, seemed like we had a good share of green flag racing out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But there were a solid amount of cautions. It did get a little bit boring for us in the car eventually. Me and my team started talking about a bit of Star Wars. And but when we were green, we kept talking about Star Wars and tried to focus on the race at the same time.
Well, I always have it in my back pocket if needed. I'll steal from an old buddy of mine who, worst case scenario, I'll throw the Animal Planet on or something or whatever, Discovery, and talk about that if I have to. But we didn't have to get there tonight, so we're good.
Yeah. I was pretty happy to see how much it cleaned up, especially towards the end of that race. It was pretty fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Shout out to whoever you like to.
You for putting on the broadcast every week. All the admins, my brother doing race control, Team Goon Squad, who I coach with, and my parents and everybody else who watches.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations. Go enjoy your weekend, and we shall talk next week at Watkins Glen. That is Alex Penn, the in-race reporter tonight. Congratulations and his good finish, and appreciate his time as always. And we're off. We're heading out. Crab cakes for dinner. That's Dover for us, right? And go from there. So appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate all the new viewers. Hopefully hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do so. Hit notifications so you can see the next time we'll be on the air here on the Captain Esports Network, which is Monday. We'll be back for the Sim 500 Cup Series at Bristol. Yeah. I like that. That's going to be fun. I was glad you caught that, Joe. I was waiting for you to reference that. My man, Nordgar. Anyways, should be a lot of fun coming up Monday night. But this series next Friday night, Watkins Glen will be here from the Glen, of course, at 8:30 Eastern Time. Looking forward to all the fun there. And appreciate all the viewers again, all the racers, and everybody who checked out the broadcast this evening. And always remember, as we head out, this isn't just a game.